Thank you for stopping by Luxuriously Poor, and I hope you find today's video helpful. And I would like to say that if you need wisdom on what to do for now or the future, this book is extremely helpful. I'm down to my last pieces of bread. As you can see here, I'm slicing it, and I'm getting ready to make my new sourdough bread, another loaf. I wanted to share with you a couple of recalls while you're here. It's on green beans, Del Monte green beans, Good and Gather green beans. They're recalling them for metal pieces. They've also recalled oyster crackers, Lean Cuisine, and Stouffer frozen foods for wood chips in them. It's getting bad, folks. It really is. Now, I replenish my starter in the morning. As you can see, this is evening. It's all the way to the top. I'm going to take a half a cup of this starter, and I'm going to put it in a bowl that has 1.5 cups of warm water. Now, this recipe really calls for 1 1/3 cup of warm water, but that's not enough water for my flour, the flour I use. The original recipe, they used King Arthur flour, so there's a difference in flours. Now, I need more water in mine, so I add 1.5 cups of warm water. Now, you may want to start out with just 1 1/3 cup of water in yours. Now, I'm going to stir this sourdough half cup of starter in with my warm water here. And I am going to mix it up pretty good. I really am. It doesn't have to be 100% dissolved, but I'm going to mix it up so it's almost completely dissolved. And as I do that, when I get that done, I have already measured out 4 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of salt in a bowl. I want it sitting here ready because once I get this stirred up, I'm going to dump my flour into this bowl. You see? And that's good enough for me. And I'm going to dump this flour in there. And then I'm going to begin to stir it around. And I'm going to stir and stir and stir. You'll see until I get it pretty well mixed in here. Now, it's going to be on the wet side. I don't want it dry. I want it wet. Take a look at this. And the more you stir it, if you don't see that it really becomes very sticky, kind of wet, add a little more water to it, especially if you started off with 1 1/3 cups water. Like I told you, I had to go to 1.5 cups. Look how sticky that is. You don't see a lot of flour around it. Nuh-uh. But it's really sticky. So I'm going to put a cover over this and let it rest, and I will come back in 30 minutes, and I'm going to stretch and fold it. Yep, it's been 30 minutes. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to wet my hands first. And then I'm just going to stretch. You see, I'm going to lift it and lift it. Because right now it doesn't have much body to it. It doesn't do much. It's kind of just sitting there stuck together. And I'm going to do what they call stretches and folds. I'm going to do 4 of them. I think this is one of the easiest breads. You don't have to sit and knead and knead. And I'm going to be honest, I think this bread is absolutely foolproof. It ain't going to collapse on you. It's going to rise perfectly. It's a really good loaf of bread. Now, once I've done this, after you do this, you're going to put your cap back on the top of it. And you want to do this every 30 minutes for 4 times. You only need to stretch it and fold it around 4 times, and that's it. And you do that every 30 minutes, and that's doing it, within 2 hours of you making the bread, and you just put the lid back on it, or the top back on it, and just let it sit. Okay, this is going to be our last stretch and fold, and then we're just going to shape the dough after this into a ball. And it's the same thing. I'm going to stretch and fold. I am not going to put the cover back on it and let it sit for 30 minutes. So I'm going to get this stretch and fold, and then we will make the dough into a ball. Okay, what we will do now is flour a surface, and we are going to dump our ball out onto the floured surface because we are now going to shape this. And so it's pretty sticky. It really is. And so I use a floured surface to help me to be able to shape this into a ball. Now, you see how it's going to stick to that bowl and you're going to have a little bit of a rough time getting it out of there? No, it's not a problem. What you're going to do is, once your surface is floured, you're actually going to fold it over kind of like you did with your stretches and folds. You're going to fold each corner over, look. And you're just going to do each side. And that actually will start to shape your ball. Your dough will be shaped into a ball in doing it like this. You just pull it over, you see, stretch it, pull it over. Now, don't worry about how it looks on the bottom, where your hands are at. It's going to be nice and smooth. You wait and see on the very top. Okay, now what you want to do is take a cotton towel and you want to put some flour on this, okay? On the towel. Yep, you want to flour it up. Be kind of generous because your ball dough is going to go into that towel. And you're going to put this in the refrigerator overnight. And it will try to stick, so put some flour on the top. Some people use rice flour. I don't like spending extra money. I don't have proofing bowls. I don't have special tools. I don't spend any money extra on anything if I don't have to. Now, look at that top. You see? That's just from stretching over, shaping it, moving it. And I'm going to put a little bit of flour around. Well, I'm sorry, you may not be able to see because I have a hard time holding the camera and doing all this at the same time. You see how ugly that looks right there? Don't worry about it because the other side is the side that's going to be the top. Okay, it is the next morning. Now, I want to say this. This has been sitting in the refrigerator all night. Now, I took it out 3 hours ago, but I did not uncover it. I did not take the top off of it. I let it sit covered for 3 hours at room temperature. Try to pick a warm spot. I picked the spot by my wood-burning stove. Let it sit for 3 hours and come to warm up a little bit. You don't want to put it cold. Now, I've got a piece of that parchment paper I put over the bowl. I'm flipping the bowl so that pretty side that's on the bottom is now on the top. That's how it's done. And that's why you don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to score this. Yes, it sticks a little bit, so you have to be careful. Now, that towel is just a cotton towel that I got from Dollar Tree, and I've got 2 of them. And this is what I use to put my bread in. Sorry about going in front of you. You're watching my arm there. But I left my knife, which is nothing more than a box cutter. I'm going to go straight down the middle of this. And I'm going to make a couple of slices on each side too. I have no special tools, no nothing. My jars that I keep my sourdough in are simple old sauerkraut jars, pickle jars, whatever jar, you can use a ball jar. I don't have any special tools. And I love this bread. It is so easy and foolproof. Now I'm going to put this into a cold Dutch oven. I do not heat my Dutch oven first. I know lots of people say to do that. Then I'm going to put my top on it. And then I'm going to let it rest in the oven. But the oven is not turned on for 20 minutes. And then I will turn my oven on and begin to bake it. And here it is. I never take the top off. And like I say, Lord, I have my daily bread and things get that bad. You send me the quail like you did in the desert for your people when they were coming out of Egypt. And I will have my meat for the day to eat also. Well, God bless and have a blessed day.